brand new client and you are so excited to get started as a virtual assistant. You can't wait to jump in. Well, Mama, I'm really excited for you too, but I want to make sure that you know exactly what's going to happen when it comes time to get paid. Are you all set up to invoice your client? If you're not, don't worry, because by the end of this episode of Free Mama TV, you'll have everything you need to send out that invoice and get paid. Plus, at the end of this video, I'll tell you how to get your hands on an amazing resource to make sure your business is set up for success from day one. So be sure to stick around. I'm Lauren Golden here with a new episode of Free Mama TV, showing moms like you how to start and run a successful freelancing business from home. Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new episode of Free Mama TV right here every Tuesday. It is so exciting when you land your first client. You do all this prep work before the discovery call. You get through the call, it goes well, you write the proposal, and the client says, yes, it's awesome. And all you want to do is celebrate. I am totally in favor of all of that celebration, but I also want you to spend a couple of minutes making sure you have all the right systems in place to get paid for all of your hard work. So before I walk you through everything you need to know, I have a question for you. Have you ever sent an invoice to a client before? Let me know in the comments below. Now, before you can send an invoice to your client, you have to know how much you're charging. And that means you'll need to talk to your client about money. So let's talk about best practices. First of all, the money conversation is one you should have as early as possible in the process. That way, you're not spending a ton of time on discovery calls and writing up proposals only to hear, oh, I can't afford that. You should definitely have some sort of range in mind so that you can weed out the tire kickers from the beginning. If you can tell potential clients, most of my projects are around $800 to $1,200 a month, you're not going to waste time on someone who is hoping to hire you for a $50 one-off. Once you've established that you're at least reading from the same book, then it's time to make sure you're on the same page. Your projects will either be billed hourly or by the project. I generally recommend that you move to project-based pricing as soon as possible, but some projects are going to fall into that hourly charge bucket. For example, if you genuinely have no idea how long it takes to do something, or the scope of the project keeps changing, it may make sense for you to be billing hourly. And I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. Another important part of the money conversation is when you'll bill the client, when the money is due, and how you'll be paid. Let's say you send out an invoice on the first of the month. In your mind, you've sent that invoice and you expect to be paid. But if you've never discussed this with your client, she may have different ideas. For example, she may pay all of her bills on the 15th when her bookkeeper is in the office, or she may be used to having a 30-day grace period for invoices. So all of a sudden on the 15th, you get a payment and then you email your client and say, hey, you were 2 weeks late paying my invoice, so the work is only starting now, and we have to push the deadline back by 2 weeks. The client will be furious. She had no idea you weren't getting started, and from her standpoint, she may have just paid you 2 weeks early. You need to be clear on your terms, and you need to talk about those terms with your client. Do you charge in advance for work that's going to be done, or after the project is complete? What's your plan for when an invoice isn't paid on time? Will you charge a late fee? How much? And will you enforce it? You have to be super comfortable talking about your money, so practice ahead of time if you need to. Now, once you know what your terms are, you'll need to invoice accordingly. If you're invoicing an hourly project, you'll need to track your hours so that you can bill your client accurately. A great tool for tracking hourly projects is Toggle. Here's a quick overview. So this is the Toggle interface. You can use it a variety of different ways, but this is how you would access it through a browser inside of your window. And when you're ready to start a project for a client, you can come over here to this little file tab folder right here, and you can actually create a new project that you're working on. I would be working on this for my client named Jenna. So this is the workspace that I'm within. I would add a client right here. So it's working for her brand, which is right here. Or of course, when you're new, you can go in and you can add your new client so that you can actually filter your reports by your client name if you're working with more than one client at a time. And then you can actually name the project that you're working on. So let's say you're working on customer service emails. And again, so we're in this particular workspace and we want to add our client, and we want to add our client, named Jenna. So we're going to add, that way all of that is tracking. We're going to create this project right here. It's what we're working on. We can add some specific notes if we want, but you can see right here that it's already tagged to this client and this particular project. And let's just say cleaning out inbox is what we're working on. And then you just go ahead and hit enter, or you can push play over here. And as you can see, it starts this little timer. So then you'd be able to open up another browser inside of your window, or you could even minimize this and start a new one and start the work that you're actually working on. As soon as you're done with that project, you just come over here and click stop. And you can see that when you do that, it's actually going to create a log of the work that you've been doing in a particular week. At the end of the week, you can come over to your dashboard and it will give you your entire team's activity for the last 7 days. So you can see that Lauren was the team member cleaning out inbox for customer service emails for client Jenna. She spent a whopping 16 seconds on it. And then you can actually go to your reports at the end of the week as well. You have the ability to download your reporting for the week, and as well as your insights. And so you can actually attach those to your invoices if that's something that your client wants to validate is the time that you were working on certain projects. So as you can see, it's super easy to use. The hardest thing is just reminding yourself to do it. So I recommend time blocking in Google Calendar and getting yourself that reminder before you start sitting down to work on a project to start that toggle timer. Then when it's time to invoice your client, you'll simply check your toggle report and copy that information into an invoice. So let's take a look at some options for those invoices. The good news is that creating an invoice is very simple. If you have a PayPal account, you actually have a totally free invoicing tool built right into it. Here's how to create and send an invoice to a client in less than 2 minutes. Okay. So when you log into your business PayPal dashboard, you're going to go to tools and then invoicing. Once you get here, you are actually going to create an invoice. And you can see that now there is actually the ability to create monthly invoices that go out on a schedule so that it's not something you have to set up manually every month. So this is a feature that I really recommend for anybody once they graduate to having monthly retainer clients. That makes it super easy. You set it and forget it. And it's a lot easier than going in and manually doing all of your invoicing. So you're going to click this create invoice button right here, and you're going to choose between invoice estimate, batch invoice upload, and money request. For your client purposes, you're most likely going to be using the invoice feature itself. And you can see when you get in here, you have a couple options. So you can determine, again, how often this is going to go out with your frequency. You can actually categorize your invoice numbers. So if this is something you're tracking, through QuickBooks or something like that, where maybe you have an inventory of something that you're keeping track of, or if you're using multiple invoicing software programs and you want to be able to track them through your accounting software, you can manually include the invoice number. Otherwise, it'll assign the number based on the number of invoices you've sent directly through this platform. The invoice date, and of course the due date. This is super important. As we discussed, it's important that you have this conversation with your clients in advance so that you know what is appropriate. Is it due in 15 days? Is it due on receipt? Is it due in 30 days? What's your window? Typically due on receipt, but of course that's up to you and your clients to figure out directly. You have the ability to customize your invoices even right here inside PayPal, so you can actually upload your business logo. And then up here you can create different templates. So you can do it based on hours. You can do it based on quantity, which is what it defaults to for goods. You can actually go to amount only as well. And so in the amount only would be what a lot of people end up using for freelancing purposes, because you're going to write the description of the services as well as that total amount that is owed. Or of course, you can use the hourly template, where when you come down here, it gives you ability to set your rate that you agreed upon, the hours, as well as the description of your services. It will show it spelled out to them. Of course, if there was any sort of discount or anything like that, allowing partial payment, all of these are things that you have the ability to customize within the invoicing feature of PayPal. And I always like adding a note to the recipient and any terms and conditions. Again, this is if you have any policies in place, if payments are not due on time, are you going to enforce them? What are they? And make sure you're clearly communicating with them. And of course, down here at the bottom, you have the ability to attach files. So if you are billing hourly and you're tracking your hours using a software program such as Toggle, you can actually upload that tracker by a weekly or monthly report directly here into your invoice before going ahead and sending it directly to your client. Remember, when you're sending an invoice through PayPal for a service you've provided, you're going to be charged a fee. This is totally normal, and it's part of the cost of doing business online. These are merchant processing fees, and they are business deductions, so don't try to avoid the fee. If PayPal finds out, they will shut down your account. Stripe is another payment processor. Like PayPal, it's free to set up an account that will let you take credit card payments online. And just like PayPal, you'll be charged a processing fee. In fact, the fees are identical. Here's how to send an invoice using Stripe. Okay, here is the Stripe dashboard. And in order to send an invoice from this platform, you're going to click on Billing and then Invoices. You're going to come up right here to this plus sign in the corner and click on New. And here is your template right there and easy to use. So you're going to add your customer or find an existing customer inside of your Stripe dashboard. You are going to include the items, the quantity, and the price right here, easy to do. Again, much like the PayPal platform, you have the ability to add a memo. So this could be any terms and conditions, any other factors contributing to the payment that you guys establish in advance, as well as some gratitude for the client's business because they didn't have to choose you. So I always recommend plugging some stuff in there because it makes it super beneficial to your ongoing relationship. And again, much like PayPal has the option to do ongoing billing or invoicing, you have the ability to automatically charge any payment methods that are kept on file. So if it makes more sense for your client to save time every single month for a retainer, a long-term retainer client, you can actually get their credit card on file and bill them on a set day every month. You can also email invoices to be sent manually every single month that are customized to the things you're doing. You can add custom fields. You can add notes down below as well. So, and before you go ahead and click that send invoice button, make sure you click the three dots so that you can view your invoice settings if you don't have your template set up already. Again, like PayPal, you have the ability to brand your invoices with your color and logo so that it can look customized to you and your business, making you look like the professional that you are. You can update all of your own contact information as well. And here is where you would establish those payment terms in terms of when that invoice is due. You have the ability to include a Stripe posted link to invoice so that people can have control over managing the invoice that you send. So it gives them the ability to download and see the status of their invoice. So it would give them their own dashboard versus just going inside of the email itself and paying it. Lastly, something that Stripe allows you to do, or your clients to do for that matter, is to pay as an ACH bank transfer, meaning rather than including that credit card information, they can actually go ahead and include their bank information for an ACH transfer, which is going to help eliminate some of those transaction fees that are being passed along to you. And as soon as you have these settings saved, you're going to want to hit save. And then of course you can head back to that email template that you were at before, make sure it's all good to go and send that invoice. And it's as easy as that. If you're already using accounting software like QuickBooks or Wave in your business, then you can send invoices directly from there as well. Your processing fees using QuickBooks are slightly lower than using PayPal or Stripe, but you do pay a monthly fee to use QuickBooks. With Wave, you'll pay the same processing fees you would to Stripe or PayPal with no additional fees for using their service. Again, these are business decisions you'll need to make. These fees are a small price to pay in exchange for allowing customers to pay you online by credit card, giving you nearly instant access to your money. Now that you've got your invoicing settled, I've got another resource you're going to want to get your hands on. It's the Free Mama Guide to Freelancing, and it has everything you need to get your business started and making money. You can find the link to the Free Mama Guide down below this video. Also, if you want to join a community of mamas just like you, I have a Facebook group where thousands of mamas come together with support and action-taking tips and motivation. As always, if you liked this video, please let me know by liking it below, subscribe, and share it with your fellow mamas. And comment below with hashtag #IamAFreeMama if you are excited about getting paid for working from home. And she's back. Still can't breathe though. Okay, now, okay. The process as possible. That way you're not spending a ton of time. I like that. I just heard SNL making fun of The Bachelor in my head. I like that. With Wave, you'll pay the same processing fee. With Wave, you'll pay the same processing fees you would to. Again, mom's just super annoying. There you go. I think that was everything. Bye.